Hey everyone, this is RidOne and welcome to the first audio anime review. And the first anime review I'm doing is on Spy Family. Spy Family was released on spring 2022, the same time as shows such as Love is War, Shield Hero Season 2, Komi-san, Data Life Season 4, Kingdom Season 4, and Tomodachi Game. And among all those shows, Spy Family became one of the most popular anime of the season, even among the highly anticipated sequels, and even became the best new anime that was released in 2022. Well, until Chainsaw Man came out, but it had a good run. A few new series that I can consider that even come close are series such as Dress Up Darling and Summertime Render. Sadly, Dress Up Darling didn't even have enough source material to keep making a second season, and Summertime Rendering had terrible promotioning. Disney because of Disney Plus. But at the end of the year, if there was one anime people remember in 2022, it was Spy Family. The country Ostania is going through a cold war with its neighboring country Westalis. The situation is tense to the point that any conflict in the political industry can trigger an all-out military war between the two regions. WISE, a spy organization from Westalis, has been secretly preserving the peace in the land of Ostania. Their best agent, Agent Twilight, was tasked to gain information from the greatest threat to the truce between the two countries, leader of the most prominent political party in Westania, Donovan Desmond. However, Desmond is a cautious man that only appears in social gatherings of his son's elite private school, Eden's College. The only way to get into said school is for Twilight to enter as a parent, and that would mean the self-efficient Agent Twilight has to secure a wife and child to get into contact with Donovan Desmond. At the end of the search, an unlikely family is born named the Forgers. Agent Twilight is now Lloyd Forger, the father and a spy, Anya Forger, the daughter and a telepath, and Yor Forger, the mother and an assassin. Agent Twilight, later known as Lloyd Forger, is shown to be the most capable spy and wise, with his specialty being perfect disguises and voice mimicry. He is also shown to be skilled in martial arts, has photographic memory, quick thinking, and high intelligence. But in return, his dedication causes him to give up on conventional happiness and the normal life of having a family. He's also quite detached from his emotions, willing to manipulate others, but struggles to trust those close to him, making him cold due to his habits as a spy. However, his perfect spy image slowly breaks and changes when he meets his daughter Anya in a run-down orphanage. Anya Forger is a 4 to 5-year-old, never specified, girl that can read minds. This is due to Anya being an unintentional experiment run by a certain organization, which was also not specified, that has escaped and has been in and out of foster homes. Anya doesn't really have any complex characteristics, which is fitting since she's an actual child, but she still stays faithful to her character. For instance, Anya sometimes says things out of pocket and mature because she is using words from other people's thoughts in her surroundings, and it also reflects the cruelty of the setting of the Cold War while also copying others like a child would. Aside from that and her telepathy, Anya is very much a normal little girl, being inept in most things, whether in sports and academics compared to Lloyd. Lloyd first found Anya as a liability that even he can't deal with. Turns out, Lloyd's self efficiency and inability to trust people made him lack sympathy and can't really understand those who are inferior to him in any way. And if you remembered what I said about Anya, she is the primary subject that shows Lloyd's flaws. In other words, since Lloyd's spy work was always done alone and to perfection, Lloyd has always struggled to achieve goals he cannot fully control. He does try to understand Anya by getting parenting books from the library, but parenting isn't something you can simply learn from books since every child is different and unique, and Anya is an especially unique case. Because of her telepathy, while Lloyd tries to understand Anya, Anya also sees through Lloyd and tries to appeal to him. But since Anya mostly fails to do so, this makes Lloyd more confused and Lloyd sees Anya as more of an enigma. But after the events of Anya being kidnapped, Lloyd realized many things about Anya and himself. Anya's cries while being saved because of her fear reminded Lloyd of why he became a spy in the first place, so that every other child would never have to go through the grief that Lloyd went through in his childhood, surrounded by the debris of war. Once Lloyd's and Anya's characters are settled and well inserted into the series, whereas Anya finally passes the entrance exam of Eden's College, not legitimately, she just remembers all the answers that Lloyd had access to from the exam, so the only thing Lloyd needs is a wife. When Lloyd brings Anya to a tailor and Lloyd waits for her while she's being measured for her uniform, a beautiful lady enters the store that manages to go through Lloyd's heightened perception. Because she isn't a normal woman, she is an assassin named Yor Briar. Yor Briar works in the city hall as her public image while Lloyd's is a psychiatrist. Her story tells us how the Cold War has influenced the public. Any suspicious activity seen is instantly reported and questioned as a desperate attempt to uphold peace. Since Yor is absent minded and doesn't focus on her public image like Lloyd does, she gains suspicion from her co workers. The suspicion was severe to the point that even not having a need to get married can be suspected of being a spy to reduce birth rates. When Yor's dress gets torn from her assassination job, she coincidentally meets Lloyd in the tailor shop she's a regular in. With Anya's help and Lloyd's persuasion, Yor agreed to join the family as the wife to clear suspicion and pertain her assassin job. Her role in the family, although welcomed by Lloyd and Anya, she is aware and believes that she is the outsider of the family because she thinks that Anya is Lloyd's biological daughter. Because of that, Yor also plays the role of the gentler and more doting parent to be closer to Anya while Lloyd becomes the voice of authority and stricter. Lloyd and Yor had a more conflicting relationship, but not in a traditional sense. They never really fought because they were never close in the first place. The conflict lies in their mental states. Lloyd at first viewed Yor's incompetence as a mother and her background as suspicion to being a spy just like everybody else, while Yor tries relentlessly to improve her role as the mother in the family and her relationship with Anya. Kinda reminds you of Anya, doesn't it? But once the misunderstanding was cleared, well, through bugging, he's a spy, is what he does, Lloyd trusts Yor more as a mother of the family, while Yor trusts Lloyd as the leader of this pretend family. The last thing I can note about the Forger family is that all three of them have similarities and differences that make their interactions and chemistry more dynamic. Lloyd and Anya are supposed to be blood related on paper, but they are complete opposite. One's a self efficient spy with every word riddled with lies, never trusting others, while the other is gifted, incompetent, but honest and sees truth in people. Lloyd and Yor are cold and heartless on their respective jobs, so detached on the concept of a normal life that Lloyd never realizes that Yor's abnormal strength is, abnormal, and Yor always believes Lloyd's sometimes terrible lies. Anya and Yor have an entertaining characteristic that they're only capable of killing and telepathy, respectively. A one trick pony, if you will. Only Lloyd is a jack of all trades among the three. However, that simplicity also gives more room for emotional complexity. Anya's kind because of her nature of joy as a child, while Yor's kind as it stems from her sense of responsibility at a young age. Lloyd lacks that as he has always faked or hid his true emotions due to his spy work. That's why Lloyd has slowly broken his poker face as he spends more time with Anya and Yor and even starts to subconsciously care about them. It really shows that when it comes to found family, Spy Family is one of the best displays of that theme. Wow, that was a lot. Just about the three main characters. Well, can you tell I love character writing? Don't worry, I'll go on other parts of the show soon. But for now, there's another part of the show that also interested me, which is the side characters. Don't worry, it won't be as long as the three forgers. The reason I'm even talking about them is because the side characters actually have personality and they interact well with the main cast. They're even used well to provide exposition and filling plot holes. The first prevalent side character is Lloyd's informant, Frankie. At first watch, he might be a lonely comic relief character, which he is, but he does have his moments of exposition and inserting additional information, such as Anya's background and why Lloyd didn't take another agent as his wife in Operation Strict. There's also Yuri Breyer, Yor's brother, that has a more important and serious role in the story. Yuri secretly works for the State Security Service, the intelligence organization of Ostania that goes against Lloyd and Weiss, and coincidentally, Agent Twilight is their number one target. This shows that Twilight is also highly known by the enemy, and you can see that from Lloyd recognizing Yuri's identity just from a conversation, establishing the difference in competence between the two, while Yuri has no clue. Yuri also has a more eccentric side, where his admiration for his sister that has supported him throughout his childhood can be a bit too much, mainly for comedic purposes, but it does work in the story, so I'll give it a pass. Yuri's character is also an extension of yours in a way that shows yours background and why she's soft spoken and responsible. Although Lloyd is very cautious of Yuri, you can tell that Lloyd had a tinge of envy seeing Yor and Yuri's bond as a family, one that he abandoned long ago. Since Spy Family revolves around the characters, there hasn't been much of an importance when it comes to other specific settings in Ostania. The second thing I can think of is the home of the Forgers, but there is one other place that starts to have a lot more relevance in the story, and that is Eden's College. Eden's College is a highly prestigious private school in Ostania, all for the sake of improving the country through discipline, etiquette, and achievement. But in return, the school is highly critical of those involved with the school due to their high standards. And since almost all of the students are from high end families, prejudice is strong in the school even among very young students. The school also frowns against any irregularities in their system, seeing that Anya is somehow viewed as a delinquent among students and teachers. Through Eden's College, we get introduced to more characters that Anya is surrounded with as a student. The first one we meet is Mr. Henderson, a teacher at Eden's College and Anya's homeroom teacher. Although he's well known for his primary character trait, which is elegance, that said trait fits into the setting and applies his elegance into his daily routine, making it less of a one off joke. His elegance also shows in his self morals, never allowing mistreatment of others no matter how entitled they are. When it comes to the students, two prominent ones come into mind. Both are raised in high end families, and it shows when they're self entitled and less empathetic. The first is Anya's first, best, and only friend, Becky Blackbell. Becky Blackbell idolizes adulthood and always wanted to be more mature. Due to that, she's not very friendly because she views other students as childish. This is why the reason she's friends with Anya in the first place is because Anya showed her maturity. Becky is even protective of Anya because it's apparent that Anya is too young to be in the school in the first place. So coincidentally, Becky's mature personality works well with Anya's childish simplicity. The second one is Damien Desmond, second son of Donovan Desmond. When it comes to wealthy families, Damien belongs to the top of the top, seeing that his father is a major figure in the country of Ostania, so his aristocratic behavior is one step above. While most of the students cater and look up to Damien because of his background, Becky dislikes him because of his rudeness and Anya dislikes him because he's annoying and cocky. But once Lloyd knew of Damien, he made a second plan for Anya to befriend Damien so that Lloyd would meet Donovan through easier means. But that would mean entrusting Anya to get close to Damien, which didn't go well when Anya just sogs Damien in the face when he pushed her buttons. When Anya apologized to Damien in tears, mostly because she didn't want to disappoint Lloyd, Damien literally had a change of heart, showing his clouded heart due to reasons we'll go into, cleared up as he realizes he has feelings for Anya, but never admitting it due to his pride and confusion because, he's a 6 year old. After that, we start to see the flawed side of Damien, his insecurity, being under his brother's shadow, who is already an imperial scholar, the most achieved student in the school. And since Damien has feelings for Anya, he slowly becomes nicer to her. Finally, we're done with all the characters. Alright, now that I think about it, I should talk about the anime itself more. Okay, animation. The animation for Spy Family is so good with their smooth visuals and they always pay attention to detail. The show also rarely has badly drawn frames to the point that even mirror reflections are animated well. When it comes to CGI, it's utilized well in crowds and drawn over. There are a few instances where the cars don't look the best, but that happens to most anime, so I'll also give it a pass. The art of the show never misses conveying the setting of Europe in the 90s. The comedy of the show is also versatile and works well with the characters from the absurd characteristics of characters such as yours in Human Strength, a good use of misunderstanding using Anya as a center point. Even the narration is written well so it's not seen as a convenient plot device. When it comes to voice acting, Anya did a very good job at voice acting a child, seeing that she's the same voice actor as Vivi from Vivi Floyd Ice Song, showing her impressive vocal range. Lois was well portrayed with his image as a perfectionist spy that has to deal with too many uncertainties, and yours impressive with her range of intonations that can change from a gentle mother to a cold blooded assassin. The opening song of Spy Family fits very appropriately with the show, with every change of tone in the song changes the art style from a light song showing simple crayon drawings surrounding Anya to a dynamic chorus revolving around Lloyd and Yora's lives as a spy and an assassin in highly budgeted animation. At the end of the opening, the art style changes between the simple drawings and the high budgeted animation to show that the lines between the two started to blur just like the story itself. Meanwhile, the ending song is a very calming serenade that revolves around Anya's life and the people she meets, and at the end, her life is only full of color with Lloyd and Yor, and only they can make her sleep in peace and happiness. One minor thing I want to point out in Spy Family, the show has its fair share of good writing and metaphors. There was a scene where Lloyd was supposed to give Yor a diamond ring, but he lost it, so Lloyd improvised and used the grenade ring instead after using it to blow people up. And in a sense, the grenade ring sums up their marriage well, a temporary bond with a dark background. The series also shows more of what's to come, with a prologue that centers around a dog which might be involved with the forces in the future or even become one of them. Alright, now I have to find some criticism for this series. It's pretty hard since it has always been consistent with its writing, characters, and animation, but I'll try my best. There are some things that are left unexplained, such as the majority of Anya's backstory. You can argue that Anya also doesn't want to dwell on the past and highly treasure the present, but it doesn't hurt to know what Anya has been through to this point. I don't say the same for Lloyd because Lloyd has always been motivated by the past, giving depth to his character. There is one scene that irked me where they somehow change clothes during Eden's college's assessment. It's a long story, so I'm not going into it. Like 3 times, and it just changes from one scene to another, which logically doesn't make much sense. There's another scene where the forgers went through multiple bad omens before finding out they didn't pass the interview, but then Mr. Henderson shows up and says, "Oh, she's on top of the waiting list in case there are students who drop out," but that always happens, so she's guaranteed to get in. So you start to realize what was the point of the scene in the first place. Alright, are there any more criticisms I have? Nope, that's it. Okay. Yeah, as you can see, aside from some flaws in the story, Spy Family is an amazing show that showcases the importance of found family in the harsh reality of the world. It also shows that without trust and bonds with others, your life will become empty no matter how accomplished you are in your field. The characters are great, the animation is amazing, and the setting is interesting and unique. I give the anime a 9 out of 10. The only reason I won't give it a 10 out of 10 is because of the flaws I mentioned. So if I were to put it on a tier list, Spy Family belongs in the top of A tier, with the system being a 10 out of 10 is S tier, 9 out of 10 is A tier, and etc. While I'm at it, I should rate the three forges as well. Lloyd is the best among the three, being one note but still have depth behind him. Anya is second, being a very well written character of a child, and Yor is slightly a tier below, well written, but not as much as the other two. But I know many more characters better than the Forges in writing and enjoyment, so for now, I will give Lloyd and Anya an 8 out of 10 and Yor a 7 out of 10, making them B and C tier respectively. And that's my review on Spy Family. I hope you enjoyed listening. You can like the video if you want to hear more of my reviews. Click on the bell icon if you want to be notified of my next upload. And you can even comment below if you actually want to suggest an anime or manga for me to make a video on, or you want me to do a sequel to an anime manga that I've already reviewed. But until then, thank you for listening, everyone. This was RidOne.